A girl named Koi wanted to jump into the water to surprise her boyfriend Day, but she didn't know Day was already in danger. Just as she was getting a running start, her dog, Lucky, saw what was happening and started barking frantically. Day noticed and quickly tried to stop her, but it was too late. Koi lost her balance, hit her head hard on the diving board, and fell straight into the pool. Day quickly swam towards Koi. He lifted her onto an air mattress. Seeing that Koi was bleeding badly, he quickly dove underwater, picked up the silk scarf from the bottom, and urgently used it to help stop Koi's bleeding. Day shouted loudly for help. Lucky nearby seemed to understand, and also barked loudly trying to help his owner call out. But it was all useless, because this pool had been abandoned for many years. A few hours earlier, Day had come here to swim. Unexpectedly, someone had opened the drain valve. The pool water quickly rushed towards the drain. When Day was woken up by Lucky's barking, half the pool water was already gone. Day immediately felt something was wrong. He quickly swam towards the edge of the pool. Only then did he realize the pool actually had no ladder. He tried to climb out, but the tiles were too slippery. He had nowhere to get a grip, so he brought over the air mattress, thinking he could step on it to climb out, but it still wasn't high enough. Just then he saw his phone on the edge through a reflection. Day instantly had an idea. He took off the belt from his bathrobe, tied it to his glasses, and tried to hook the phone to pull it down, but after countless tries he failed. With no other options, he could only shout loudly for help. But the pool had been abandoned for years. No one was likely to come rescue him. Just then his girlfriend Koi suddenly called. The vibration moved the phone right to the edge of the pool. Day suddenly saw hope. He reached out, staring intently at the phone. Lucky, seeing this, kept barking encouragement for his owner, but Lucky lost his footing and stumbled near the pool edge. Lucky desperately tried to climb up, but the pool wall was just too slippery. On one side was the phone that could save him, on the other was his beloved pet. Day felt incredibly torn. In the end, he decided to save Lucky first. He used the air mattress to push against Lucky's back legs and successfully boosted him up. But when he turned back, the phone was already falling. Day was filled with regret. He kept blaming himself silently. Suddenly, he heard a vibration behind him. The phone had landed on the very edge of the pool. It turned out the phone was still connected to its charging cable. Day desperately swam over, but by now the water level had dropped even more. He couldn't reach the phone at all. Seeing the phone about to fall in, Day decided to risk it all. He leaped upwards with all his might. Unfortunately, he didn't grab it and the phone fell into the water. He quickly dove underwater and retrieved the phone, but the phone wouldn't turn on anymore. Hope was extinguished once again. To stop the water level from dropping further, he dove to the bottom and used his bathrobe to block the drain tightly. But when he tried to surface, his shorts chain got caught on the drain cover. Just at that exact moment, the pizza he had ordered arrived. The delivery guy kept calling, looking for him. At the same time, Day also saw the delivery guy, but no matter how loud he yelled, his voice couldn't reach the edge. Seeing the delivery guy about to leave, Day used all his strength and finally broke the chain. He quickly swam to the surface, shouting help repeatedly, but his voice was drowned out by the loud noise of a motorcycle. He lost another chance to be rescued. It seemed like Day had used up all his lifetime's luck. By now, Day was exhausted. He could only climb onto the air mattress and wait for rescue. An unknown amount of time passed. Koi, seeing Day hadn't called back, came to the pool herself. Seeing Day seemingly asleep in the pool, she wanted to give him a surprise, but instead the scene from the beginning unfolded. The surprise instantly turned into a shock. The sky quickly grew dark. Koi was still unconscious, and her head was still bleeding. Suddenly Lucky started barking wildly towards the entrance. Day turned his head to look. He saw a crocodile. Day quickly signaled Lucky to be quiet. The crocodile had already targeted Lucky. It was slowly approaching him. Unexpectedly, the crocodile lost its footing and fell right into the pool. It was a disaster. Day was instantly terrified. He dove underwater to look for the crocodile, but he couldn't find any sign of it. Day quickly dragged Koi backward on the mattress. After all, unseen danger is the most dangerous kind. Day stood on the couch, constantly watching for the crocodile's movements. But luckily, the crocodile didn't seem hungry. It didn't charge at Day. By the next day, the pool water had completely drained. The crocodile watched menacingly from the side, and Koi's wound was still bleeding. It needed to be rebandaged. Day looked around. He noticed there was a roll of tape in the crocodile's mouth. Day slowly walked towards the sleeping crocodile. He wanted to take the tape out of its mouth. Day didn't dare to be careless. He carefully reached out his hand. Suddenly, Lucky barked loudly. Day was startled. He quickly signaled Lucky to be quiet. Thankfully, the crocodile didn't wake up. Day composed himself again. He reached out his hand once more, but the crocodile woke up. Luckily, Day's hand was fast enough. If he had actually been bitten, the consequences would have been unthinkable. After getting the tape, Day quickly bandaged Koi. They had been trapped in this abandoned pool for 2 days and 2 nights. The phone wouldn't turn on. No one was likely coming to rescue them. Just then, Day saw the drain nearby. Maybe there was a way out down there, but when he went over, he found the drain cover was fixed with screws. While keeping an eye on the crocodile's movements, he tried to turn the screws, but he twisted for a long time, and the cover didn't budge at all. He had to go back to Koi's side. Then he saw Koi's necklace could be used as a tool. Just as he took off the necklace, he saw the crocodile lying on the drain cover and it opened its massive jaws. Day had no choice but to tear off some tape. Using the tape, he kept trying to hit or distract the crocodile with it. Luckily, the crocodile didn't bother with him and turned away. Day seized the chance and used the necklace to unscrew the bolts. He successfully opened the drain cover. Day peered inside and saw there was indeed a tunnel below. Rather than wait here to die, it was better to take a chance. He quickly returned to Koi's side, wanting to wake her so they could go in together. However, while Day wasn't looking, the crocodile had secretly crawled inside. Day waited outside for a long time, but the crocodile didn't come out. Seeing Koi in danger, Day decided to take a chance. He jumped down and picked a random direction. He had no idea which side the crocodile was on. Now all he could do was hope for the best, and surprisingly his luck wasn't too bad. He actually found the exit, but the exit was locked. He kept shouting for help, not realizing the crocodile had quietly climbed back into the pool, slowly creeping toward Koi. Lucky sensed danger and started barking like crazy. Day saw the crocodile's movement through the mirror. He quickly rushed back the way he came. By then the crocodile was already next to Koi. It tried to crawl onto her waist, ready to bite her in half. Luckily, Day showed up just in time and knocked the crocodile away. When it still didn't give up, he grabbed a stick and drove it off. Only then did the crocodile finally leave, but Day was completely exhausted. He started feeling dizzy, and things weren't looking good. By nighttime, Koi finally woke up, but there was no food or water. They knew they wouldn't last long like this. Then they noticed something strange. The crocodile stayed in one spot all day without moving. By the next day, they realized why. The crocodile had just laid a nest of eggs. Just as they figured it out, Day felt dizzy again and fainted. The crocodile slowly crept toward him. As it got closer, Lucky barked to warn him. Day realized the crocodile had taken the bait. He jumped up, grabbed the crocodile, and shoved it into the sewer. Then he slammed the cover shut. He and Koi dragged over a couch and pressed it down tight on top of the cover. It was all part of their plan. They wanted to steal the crocodile's eggs. Using the glasses to focus sunlight and making fire by rubbing sticks together, they managed to cook the eggs. At last they had a meal of crocodile eggs. With their strength restored, they stacked up the couch, trying to build a human ladder to escape, but the pool was over 6 meters deep. They couldn't reach the top. They had no choice but to give up. Still desperate to escape, they moved the couch away and decided to go through the sewer. As soon as the crocodile crawled out, they quickly slipped inside. The crocodile realized its eggs were gone and charged at them like crazy. Luckily, Day reacted fast. He slid into the tunnel just in time, narrowly avoiding the crocodile's jaws. They were finally safe, but the crocodile let out a furious roar. Not daring to waste another second, Day and Koi hurried to open the exit. Just then, Lucky suddenly started barking loudly. He had spotted a drone. Day quickly shouted for help, but the person controlling it didn't seem to notice. Day knew he couldn't miss this chance, so he rushed back the way he came. But the moment he opened the manhole cover, he was completely stunned. It turned out to be just a toy drone. There wasn't even a camera on it. Still, he yelled for help, thinking the person controlling it might be nearby. But the crocodile nearby seemed to mock him, as if saying he would never escape. Just then, a strong gust of wind blew down a nearby wire. The wire looked like it could be used to climb up. Day saw a glimmer of hope and began climbing, but it wasn't as easy as he thought. The wire was covered with sharp points. After just a few steps, his hands were already bleeding. He clenched his teeth and kept climbing. The wire wasn't stable either. Day nearly fell. He gripped it tightly. It was his only chance. He was so close to the top, but suddenly the wire gave way. Day lost his balance and fell hard to the ground. He was in excruciating pain. He barely managed to wrap up his wounds before passing out. When he woke up again, pain shot through his leg. He looked down and saw a crocodile biting his injured leg. Day panicked and kicked the crocodile away, but it wasn't about to let its prey escape. It opened its bloody jaws and slowly moved toward him. In a moment of desperation, Day grabbed a nearby bucket and slammed it down on the crocodile over and over. Finally, the crocodile gave up and turned away. That night, Day climbed back into the sewer. This time he crawled in the opposite direction. Despite the pain, he crawled for a long time, until he found another manhole cover. He pushed with all his strength. If he could get out, he'd finally be free. He climbed up in a hurry, but the next second, he was stunned again. This wasn't an exit, it was just another swimming pool. Day was crushed. The repeated failures made him want to give up. The next day, that same toy drone dropped into the pool again. 2 men set up a ladder and climbed down to retrieve the toy. They were completely oblivious. They didn't notice the blood or the crocodile under the couch. Hearing voices, Day rushed back to the manhole, but when he opened the lid, they were already gone. He shouted for help, but no sound came out. Luckily, although the men had left, they forgot to take the ladder. Day saw hope once again, but when he tried to get to it, the crocodile blocked his path. What now? Meanwhile, on Koi's side, the rising rainwater had trapped her. If he didn't go soon, it might be too late. Facing the crocodile that refused to move, Day made a bold decision. He wrapped the wire around his hands ready to fight the beast, but the crocodile attacked first. Sinking its teeth into Day's left leg, Day twisted his body and climbed onto the crocodile's back. He punched its head furiously, then he grabbed a steel pipe and struck the crocodile hard, jamming the pipe straight into its mouth. The crocodile went still. It was finally over. At that moment, Day tried to climb the ladder and escape, but suddenly something went wrong. The ladder was accidentally carried up by the falling barrels. Now even his last hope was gone. Day broke down again. Everything that had happened in the past few days felt like the universe was torturing him. Just then, Koi blew her whistle calling for help. But Lucky thought she was calling him. Day noticed and quickly tried to stop him, but it was already too late. Lucky ran toward the pool and was yanked back hard by the leash. Day was heartbroken, but if he didn't save Koi now, it might be too late. He fought through the pain, grabbed the dog leash, and climbed up toward the pool. Finally, he made it back into the sewer. He pried open the manhole cover with a steel pipe and pulled Koi out just in time. Luckily, Day had arrived before she drowned. The two of them hugged each other tightly.